2023 Sherman County Commissioner meeting come to order, please. It is open for public comment. I'm going to continue signing checks if need be.
You want to go ahead and name them? You're the chairman.
If you want, I hear nominations from the floor for chairman.
I nominate Steve Everett to stay chairman. I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Do I have any say in this?
Yes, you do.
Okay, well then I'll accept it.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Welcome aboard, Mr. Swigert.
Thank you.
That answer your question, Mr. Brett?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Can you take these off the bottom?
Have those go right in there. I hear a motion to approve the vouchers.
I will make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $85,016.77.
Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Been moved and seconded. We'll pay the bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed. And then back to Ashley. We have no other. Want the colors?
Yeah. I make a motion to approve the minutes of December 30th. I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's passed. Minutes are approved. I have a contract here with Cone Care, which is the elevator maintenance and safety. There's 3 different bids for the elevator. One is $993.10. One is $600 for the machinery maintenance, is $667.17. And the hoistway clean out is $1,481.05. Do I hear a motion we approve this contract? This is about the same price as it was last year.
I so moved.
Do I hear a second?
What elevator are we talking about?
This main elevator here.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor that we pay, sign the contract with Cone, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. You want to hand that back to? Got 5 minutes of public comment if anyone wishes to use it. If not, we will continue since Ms. O'Hare is here. Lisa, if you want to come on up.
You okay on time, Brett?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to come in and touch base about the Northwest Planning Development and Commission dues that we pay. I know when I first started, we were kind of on the fence, kind of where we wanted to be with that because we didn't see any projects that were new or advancing the community, and we were paying all this money into this program. And I think talking with my board, we utilized them for the MIH that we submitted this last year. We did not get that grant. Part of the reason is the way it was written and some of those things. And so I actually had a meeting with the MIH committee, and they kind of told me what was lacking in our grant submission and whatnot. And part of that was due to the communication between our office and the Northwest Planning office. They weren't very good at communicating. They waited till the week before it was kind of due to do it. So it was very frustrating. I know our contact, Dan Steffen, is no longer with them. They cut his position, and he was kind of the one who was being groomed to take over Randy's spot when he retired. But at this point in time, I don't see any progressive movement in where their setup is, or kind of how they run and operate things. And in talking with the board, we would see that maybe we need to discontinue that relationship for now until we see that change. So that's just kind of our recommendation. But I wanted to touch base with you guys because I know that dues are coming forward, and that had been a question in the past.
Do they know who is Randy going to retire this year, or they don't know?
I don't know. So I was actually had submitted my name to be on the selection committee and kind of that board of who would take his replacement, but there has been no communication with that. So I'm not sure what that even looks like. It's just been kind of, I don't know, on a back burner. So I think they did lose some funding, and I know that's part of the reason Dan is no longer with them. And he's actually, well, I can't remember which county he's in, but he's the economic development director there. So it's really close to Dave, and I can't think of where he went to. But so kind of just looking at that perspective, thinking it'd be better to use an actual grant writer and use them as contract labor to write some grants until we see fit to put maybe a position in place or something between county, city, and SCCD. So it's kind of a community grant writer for that. But I don't see us using them for anything moving forward on grant writing and whatnot. It was just very stressful and difficult, and it's not the first time, and I don't think it'll be the last time that we have those struggles.
What else do they do for us? I mean, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I know this has been a topic about every year, I think.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to come and talk to you guys,
Yeah.
because we said we'll give them one more chance. And I know on the housing committee we said maybe this will be the one.
Yep.
We see some change and difference, and there really wasn't any on the communication side. Actually, there was a point where I submitted everything. She was like, "Oh, our contact was like, you don't need this." So she submitted our paperwork, and then I got contacted by the state. And they're like, "Where's this document?" And I said, "Oh, well, they told us we didn't need it. I have it signed, and I'll send it right over." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So it was just kind of lack of communication on their end, and I guess I don't know if they're too overwhelmed to service all the counties that they do, or they just, I don't know. But that's just kind of our feeling is we do put money into that, but what are we as a community and the county getting out of that? So
How much was that?
Based on evaluation, it was around 11,000.
Yeah.
and I think, yeah, exactly. I just was like, that's just a big chunk of money just to be. So
Yeah.
just wanted to communicate that, and if there's any questions.
Is this we don't have to make a motion to do that? Is this totally up to you?
Well, if we're going to discontinue services with them, I would think
Probably have to have a motion to discontinue, but
because that's due now.
We have it.
So, based on your recommendations, there's not a whole lot of value right now until that operation
Changes.
gets up, straightens up a little bit. There's no reason to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to discontinue our agreement with Northwest Kansas Planning and Development.
right here, second.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We discontinue. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Hopefully we can get some stuff straightened out.
Hope so. I told them to keep me in the loop and things to try to move forward, but at this point, it's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
So,
I get it.
Do you have someone in mind to do your grant writing?
we have been working with Brenna Henry, who we've been contracting her for our grants. So we've been utilizing her, especially after the MIH application. I just didn't see fit to keep moving forward. And the thing about it is with their organization, they get paid. Every grant they get a portion of that because of what their role is in that. And so I didn't think it for me was fair to think for them to write something and then get a piece of our payment every month
Along with,
over the duration of it. So so she's been great. We actually ended up getting the seed grant that we applied for, which is doing multiple projects in the community. So I know the library has a project they're working on. The Sherman County Children's Early Childhood Center over at the school, they're getting some new fencing and stuff with that program, and then we are utilizing part of it for the Main Street sound system as well. So.
I think that'd be the way to go. You know what your contract is, and
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you guys.
thank
All right.
you.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for coming in.
Mr. James, we're a little ahead of schedule, but that's not bad.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Figured bring Chief Zerman in so you guys can officially meet Chief Zerman. So I brought him in a month and a half ago. November 28th was his first day. So my assistant chief on the EMS department. So anyway, so it's worked out pretty good. So using Chris, he's really filling a lot of gaps that we've had with inventory and maintenance and training and all that stuff. So he's going to be helping with doing all that from here on out. So anyways, but we do have our, just a heads up on top of what I'm going to talk to you guys, we do have our state inspection on Wednesday. The state's coming in to do their audit. So we've been getting everything ready to go for that. So I think we should be good to go. So anyways, so main reason why I'm here is the door operator for the EMS overhead door has been a constant issue. It has left our Amotses high and dry a couple of times now. By what I mean by that is that the door, a couple of times now, the door has gone up about maybe 3 feet, and then it attaches itself or unstraightens itself, and it gets wedged on an EMS call. So the guys and gals have had to get out and try to adjust the door by hand and then manually open the door, which is slowing our ambulances down. We've had it looked at multiple times. We've had it worked on multiple times, and we just can't get the door to work like it's supposed to. I did have High Plains Door come over and take a look at it, and they advise that they feel it should be a overhead trolley system, not a sidewall operating system that's on there now. So the reason that they feel the door keeps breaking is because that door is so big that it's causing so much strain on that one side. It's kind of causing a bend to the pole itself, to where if you actually had a center trolley system and it lifted from the center, it spread out that load across that pole like it's supposed to, and the door should operate like it's supposed to. Those last winds that we had actually caused damage to the top panel itself, caused it to actually bow in. So that has to be, I believe, fixed as well. So total cost replace for that, plus to put in the dual trolley system, that's what they're calling it, is $3,632. So obviously my maximum spending amount is $2,500 before I come to you, gentlemen, for approval. So that's why I'm coming to ask for approval, is to have our door fixed properly.
Is there any leeway with insurance for the damage on the door from the wind, or?
That I don't know. I guess I could talk to Ashley about that and see if we need to get a hold of. Well, last time we had a top panel replacement, it's not even in here. It's not in here.
Well, I believe they were going to try to.
Or they can try to bend it back.
They were trying to get it back.
Get closer
It's
to the
not.
mic, Chris.
It's not creased or anything. The door's not creased, so it's not
Bowed.
It's just bowed. So they were, when he came down to look at it, they were going to put like heavier braces across that midsection to help stiffen it back out straight. So they're going to try that as far as what I was told.
I think Eric and I were talking. It's like $500, I think, for a panel. When I had to have some panels replaced on the city's or on the apparatus side, fire department side, each panel was about $300, but those are smaller bay doors, so probably way less than what our deductible is. Okay, so
I would say quit messing around with it and just get it replaced. If they think that this is what's going to do it.
That is a big door. That's
it is a big door.
22 foot or something like that.
Yeah, if you go any bigger, you probably have to look at doing one of those
Scissors.
bifold doors or something like that. Yep. So, okay.
Make a motion to approve that quote right there from High Plains Door Systems. Amount of $36.32.
Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Being moved and seconded, we contract with High Plains Door System for repairing the main door on the ambulance bay for $30,632.50. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's passed. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. That's all I have.
All right. Okay.
Have a good day.
Welcome on board, Mr. Zimmerman.
What's that?
I say welcome aboard.
Thank
Yeah, Chris.
I have two items for you. The first is I would ask for approval for resolution for tax sale for all those properties that have been plus years delinquent at this point in time. We have 72 total. So I just need the motion and everything for that and your signatures on the resolution. And I'll have a couple follow-up items for you if you guys choose to approve that.
I will so move.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
Been moved and seconded. We go ahead with the tax sale. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Steve, when you're done with that one, put your signature on the petition, just mark on the sticky note. And then if you guys want to look at them, here's the parcels at this point.
There are not as many mineral rights on this, though, are there? That
There's 3 sets that didn't sell the last one that are on here. Give you that approval for the title work services for Frontier Secured Title for $150 per parcel.
okay. Motion we approve the contract services with the Treasurer's Office and Frontier Secured Title Company.
Also move.
Been moved. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Been moved and seconded. We continue with this. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Now that price increased slightly, right?
$25, yeah, for
Okay.
2019. That covers tax sale. Just some item of information on. There's a lot of discussion at the last meeting regarding Smoky Gardens. I had the opportunity to speak with Mark Billinger with KDA, and he cleared up a couple of questions that I had. First, there was some question as to, not necessarily from the meeting, but from you guys individually, regarding the reduction in the MOU from 300 acre feet to 150. And the way Mark explained that to me is that 1779 water right is regulated at 607 acre feet. There's a 12.3% consumptive use reduction, which takes it down to 532. When you take into what has to be shown the reasonableness of that amount and the Lima allocation, Mark explained that the estimation for that reasonable use is 159 acres. So I know that one of the suggested revisions to the MOU was agreeing to the 150 acre feet, but having a clause in there that in the event of an emergency, they would give us up to an additional 150 acre feet. Well, they may not necessarily have that authority if our water right through groundwater in the state is only 159 or whatever that number comes out to be. So that's the explanation I received as to that. And then there was a quick claim deed attached to that, and there was a lot of questions regarding that. And the explanation I received, and I'm going to steal his example, if I own a quarter of ground and Harvey owns a quarter of ground right across the way, and I'm irrigating on mine, and I've got extra acre feet left over every year. If I lease Harvey's ground and throw a pivot up on his land is the endpoint benefit user. And essentially, my water right now has two owners, myself and Harvey. So anything that gets done with that has my signature and Harvey's. Any fines, penalties, fees, we're both liable for it. And so Mark explained that the quitclaim deed tidies that up, and so that there's one liable party, one person to handle all of that. And so that was the explanation I received regarding those questions. I revised the MOU to take out that language of the event of emergency, the additional 150 acre feet, and taking some of the information from my discussion with Mark, simply changed that to, in the event of an emergency, that Wildlife and Parks would work with the county to pursue all available options, whether that's temporary permits or whatever, to handle that situation. So I emailed all of you an updated revised copy, which reflected requested changes from Mr. Infeld last week or 2 weeks ago, and that change. And so I guess they're going to be here next week. I just need to know from the three of you if you have any other revisions that you want to suggest, or if you want that sent, or what you want done from this point.
Okay, to be very clear on the quitclaim deed, we are not giving up any water rights of the county. We're merely taking away some liability as a point of
End user?
End user.
Yeah.
That's what that's basically doing.
To a certain extent. I mean, yes, there are now two owners to that water right, but they are the departments or the state's
water right.
Correct.
So yes, I mean, to be completely correct, you're giving up any right you have in that water right
For their water. Right. But we're also guaranteeing, by the MOU is guaranteeing 5 years of the Lima allocation to the Smoky Gardens.
Right. The MOU guarantees the water delivery. Now, obviously, there's provisions in there that if the integrity of the lake in question, things like that.
Sure.
Which there's been, those requested revisions where any changes like that would be done in consultation with the county. And Mr. Billinger did say that, it's not necessarily that it's required that the county sign the quitclaim deed, but by doing so, it tidies up things on one side where there's only one person that Wildlife and Parks is the only person that's dealing with groundwater management, or the state, etc. And then if there's any overpumping fees or anything like that, the county's not liable for that. Now, the three of you can always choose to say, well, we don't want to sign that. We're in this with you. Any penalties, fees, whatever. But that's up to you.
Now let me ask you this. Okay, this was the original proposed MOU from the state. This was the revised one that you made the revisions on. I don't see anything earth-shattering in this thing that's going to make the outcome of this one any different. Am I right? Is there anything in this?
It takes sole discretion away from Wildlife and Parks and ensures that the county will be consulted on any of those provisions that we were discussing. Integrity of the lake is questioned, things like that.
Well, if they're managing your fishery anyway, there's going to be consultation. And that's just the way it is. If the state biologist is saying we need to do X to the impoundment as far as water level or whatever, that's a recommendation that they're going to be making anyway, in my mind.
I see where you're coming from, because after I didn't keep my original, but after looking at what Brett wrote in, there's very subtle changes, and I guess the word of consultation is like, I'm going to consult with you, Rod. We need to fix the lake.
Exactly.
Well, and Mr. Billinger is going to be here on the 17th, and so he can provide probably some better explanation than what I did. on some of those questions. And it's also my understanding, I believe, that members from groundwater management will also be here to address any questions.
Do you have an issue with this agreement?
My issue with that agreement would be, I mean, I understand what you're saying. But from a legal perspective, from the county's point of view, anytime you see that wording of in-department sole discretion, I mean, it takes, I mean, yes, I understand they'll probably be consulting, but at that point, they're not required to.
It's the nuts and bolts of this whole thing is the chief engineer at KDA made his decision. The water district made his decision on the Lima allotment, and that's not going to change. That's 5 years.
That's a 5-year program.
That's 5 years. It may change in 5 years.
Right, but they're hoping that in the 5-year program that they're on now, that they can maintain what they have.
Right.
But that's nothing set in stone, because if we continue having drought, we're not going to be able to pump what we do anyway.
No.
Well, and those are all discussions you can have with wildlife and parks and anyone else that may be here on Tuesday.
Well, that's just it. I've had these discussions. I feel like I've beat this horse to death.
My question simply is, do you want me to send them the document with the revisions, or how do you want to move forward?
I'm okay signing this document right here.
The original?
The original, the sole discretion,
If we sign it, we got 5 years of water. If we don't sign it, we get no water. That's what it all comes down to.
I'm in agreement with you, Rob, that I like that wording or the verbiage of consulting with the county, but that it's kind of like when Dad said, let's go do chores. I consulted with you, let's go do chores.
Exactly.
So
there's got to be some trust built between us and them.
Yeah.
That's been tarnished over the years. And I'm not afraid to stick my neck out on it.
Well, I know in the last meeting, the biggest concern was making sure that we were able to get that 150 acre for the water. And I think that agreement assures that for 5 years. And going in, talking with the state people next meeting, I'd rather have something tentatively agreed upon that we can all start with. So I would be in favor of signing that as well.
The original document.
The original document, because it has the 150 acre feet in it.
Yes.
It's there. That's not going to change.
So that's per year.
I will make a motion to move forward with the MOU, the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, on the original agreement.
Do you want a separate motion for the quitclaim deed, or the whole thing in one?
And I don't have a problem signing the quitclaim deed, since we're not giving up any
Now, do you
county
want
water rights.
do you want the suggested revision to the quitclaim deed that while we're giving up what right we have, that we continue to be, we're not giving up any rights as an endpoint user? That was one revision to that.
That's fine.
That would be good.
Yes.
Okay, the motion on the floor says we're going to approve the original MOU with the state and sign the quitclaim deed with the adjustments or the different verbiage.
And we'll have to send off that quitclaim deed back to them to make sure it's all good. So you probably won't sign anything until the next meeting.
Okay.
As far as that goes.
But can we sign the MOU today?
That's up to you. If you're going to go with the original document with nothing changed, that's
Okay, so we're going to go with the original document and then send back the quitclaim deed for adjustment. All those in favor that we sign, say aye.
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 Did we get a second on that?
Oh, do I have a second? Sorry, thank you.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Thank you, Mr. Brett.
Thank you, Brett.
You want me to come by later and put a signature on that? Or, okay. Is there anything else needs to be? I entertain a motion for adjournment then.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Been moved and seconded, we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Oh, wait.
What? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion